Good morning, friends. Today we are going to learn the next part of Preface to Shakespeare in Neoclassical Criticism. In Preface to Shakespeare, Samuel Johnson wrote about the Shakespeare's three unities of play. In the previous part, we learned about the merits and demerits of Samuel Johnson's preface to Shakespeare, and he presents there Shakespeare's merits and demerits and drawbacks of the playwriting in preface to Shakespeare. Now we are going to learn about the three unities of Shakespeare. Shakespeare's disregards of the unity is not a defect. According to Johnson, Shakespeare's disregard of the unity is not a defect. One practice in Shakespeare's writing of dramas which is regarded by critics as a defect but which is not really a defect is his neglect of the unities of time and place. It is held that these rules have been laid down by the joint authority of poets and critics and hence ought not to be violated. Johnson does not agree with this view and defends Shakespeare. One is not required to look for the unities in the history plays. For all that they need it is consistency and spontaneity of characterization. The events in them are not subject to the writer's control. In other plays, Shakespeare has observed the unity of action. His plays have beginning, a middle, and an end, as laid down by Aristotle. Here and there we may find an incident which could be easily spared, but on the whole there is nothing superfluous in them. There is a logical sequence of incidents, and the conclusion follows naturally. Shakespeare had no consideration for the unities of time and place. In case the issue is closely examined, it will be found that unlike the unity of action, the other two unities are not essential. They have given more trouble to the dramatist than pleasure to the spectator. According to Johnson, here he said there is a logical sequence of incidents and the conclusion follows naturally, and they have given more trouble to the dramatist than pleasure to the spectator. According to Johnson, here he praises Shakespeare's three unities of time, action, and play. Unities of time and place, pros and cons. Here we can understand merits and demerits of the unities of time and place. The argument given in favor of the unities of time and place is that if there are limits preserved, credibility of the play is affected. No one will believe that an action of months or years can take place within hours, that the scene can change from Greece to Rome in the span of if mimic act. Our mind it is aware revolts against apparent falsehood. Fiction loses its impact when it does not resemble reality. See, here we can understand how the unities of time and place used by Shakespeare. Johnson calls this argument stupid. It is a mistake to imagine that the change of scene from Alexandria to Rome strains credibility. To do so would imply that the spectator actually imagines himself at Alexandria in the first act while he himself is sitting at a theatre in London. On the same ground, we can say that no audience can actually believe in point of time that they are witnessing events that took place in the days of Antony and Cleopatra, but if the audience can believe that in the first act there are at Alexandria, they can also believe that in the next act they are in Rome, and similarly, they can also believe the changes in respect of time. The spectators are fully aware from the first act to the last. The that the stage on which events are being presented is only a stage and that the players are only players. So, here also Samuel Johnson said no audience can actually believe in point of time that they are witnessing events that took place in the days of Antony and Cleopatra. There is nothing wrong in representing the stage as Athens in the first act of the drama and as Sicily in the second act when the stage is only a stage and neither Athens nor Sicily. If we accept that the unity of place is dispensable, it is easy to accept that an extension of time is also valid. Drama presents successive imitation of sequential actions, and there is no reason why lapse of time is not to be allowed between cause and effect, or in other words, between one act and the next. The belief of the audience is not adversely affected by lapses of time between acts. See, here we can understand how there is a successive imitation of sequential actions and there is no reason why lapses of time is not to be allowed between cause and effect. The credulity of the audience, dramatic illusion. The fact that the spectators do not believe that they are witnessing actual events taking place at actual places does not mean had they are totally incredulous of the various happenings on the stage. They take the dramatic performance not as reality itself but as a just representation of a reality. The evils and vices that they see on the stage are not believed by the spectators to be real evils, but they are accepted as evils to which they themselves may be exposed. If there is any illusion, it lies in the fact that the spectator fancies himself unhappy for a moment when he sees the actor represent unhappiness. It is not that the spectator believes the actor to be unhappy. The audience knows that they are witnessing only a fiction, and it is this consciousness of fiction that is the source of the pleasure of tragedy. If the audience took the murders in tragedy for reality, it may no longer amuse them. So, audience knows what is the reality and what is the fiction and what is happened in front of their eyes on the stage. This part suggests Samuel Johnson focuses on how the audience take the drama and feel the all the events in the drama. So here we can understand Samuel Johnson write down about the three unities of Shakespeare in his Preface to Shakespeare. In next part we will learn about the next part of Preface to Shakespeare. Till then, thank you.